Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso at the1916company.com for purchase, pricing, and availability questions concerning this watch. Today, we're discussing a variant of the Patek Philippe 5170 chronograph that debuted in 2013 and was made in this fashion, as you see it, through the 2016 model year when it was discontinued at the very beginning of the sales season. So the watch is the 5170G-001. It debuted in 2013 as a more contemporary variant of the initially quite frumpy yellow gold silver dial 5170. So the watch is 39.4 millimeters in diameter in white gold. In profile, 11 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, nice compact 47.3 millimeters with a 21 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Well, the 2010 5170J was appreciated for its new in-house caliber and smaller size than the prior 5070. Not everyone liked the extraordinarily formal look of that watch. So in 2013, Patek started giving people the one they really wanted: pulsation scale dial, breguet, Arabic numerals, and a white gold case. And you can see it fits beautifully on a 16 centimeter circumference wrist. Now the strap is still stiff, it hasn't broken in, and I'm pulling it very tight, but you can still see the lugs are nowhere near the edge of my wrist. Even over the top, you can see the lugs are not beyond the edge of my wrist. In profile, it'll easily fit underneath a dress cuff or a tight shirt sleeve. Now, even though the strap is still very stiff, once it breaks in and becomes more flexible, this watch will wear beautifully on a wrist as small as 14 centimeters circumference. We have a full clasp here, the Calatrava Cross, the logo of the company. You'll see it on the crown, you'll see it on the buckle. Single fold, open it up. You can see we have a radial spring that helps to keep this buckle quite secure. It snaps shut and stays shut with a tenacity uncommon on friction fit clasps. It gives you an extra element of security. The strap is large, rectangular, symmetrical scale alligator leather. Patek likes to boast that it almost never uses any other cut. This is the most premium of the animal. Gloss black. You can see we've got a folded edge, a monotone stitch. Calfskin on the bottom, no crimping, no gouging. Pull tab spring bars. You can quickly pop the strap off the case without tools. A simple case band with almost Calatrava-like blended lugs. It is gray gold, which is a type of white gold that is white all the way through and requires absolutely no rhodium plating, and that's a good thing. It's the best type of white gold. It's what Patek, Rolex, Grubel, and others in the high-end space, Jaeger LeCoultre, all use gray gold. Now, taking a quick look at the bezel, you'll notice an unusual feature of it, which is that it appears to be broken out from the case band until you get to the side, where it's actually fused. So it does look as though it's a separate bezel structure, but in profile, it is actually very subtly fused to the case. Taking a look at the top of the bezel, it's got a slight conical slope. We have vintage-inspired rectangular pushers on the dial, white, but not a metallic white. It's not a sunburst. Opaline is what Patek calls this. We have white gold hands and indices, so they will not oxidize or tarnish with time. We have a pulsation scale, which is handy because if you're a doctor, put your finger on the patient's pulse, start the chronograph, and then count 15 pulses. If, when you count number 15, you stop the chronograph, you will see that is 110 beats per minute. Now, the watch does feature a stop seconds function, a big upgrade over the previous 5070. The 5070 had a Lamagna-based 2770 movement. This is the 29535. It's a Patek in-house. So not only is it a better match for the size of the case because it's bigger, but it does have stop seconds. It's a conventional column wheel system, which in this instance is Geneva style with a black polished cap, and it makes for very crisp actuation. It also features a lateral clutch, which is traditional, beautiful, and according to Patek, actually requires a higher level of internal Patek watchmaker certification to work on properly. So at Patek, you may be surprised to note that overcoil hairsprings made of metal and lateral clutches on chronographs are actually considered to be more advanced and more challenging for watchmakers. This watch has both. As a result, this watch will be serviced by a higher level of Patek Philippe watchmaker when it goes in for service. You can also see that we have instantaneous jumping minutes on this movement. Also note that the registers are sunken somewhat below the cannon pinion. That's a signature of the 29-535 movement. You can see those lovely Breguet-style applique white gold Arabic numerals. Turn it all over, we have the 29-535. You can see it is a glorious-looking 33-jewel movement, fairly large in diameter to better fill this case back. Remember all the visual gymnastics with the bezel and the scales Patek went through to make the Lamagna better match the 42mm 5070. Well, this is more of a hand and glove fit. Manual wind with stop seconds. If you need hacking, it has that. 65-hour power reserve, 4 Hz beat rate. You could see that it features comprehensive adjustment, 5 positions, as well as 2 hot, cold, and isochronism. That's the standard for a chronometer, but also for a high horology watch like a Longa or a Vacheron, so this has that. Here's your instantaneous minute jumper here. Here's your capped column wheel. Here's your lateral clutch. And you can see it's a free-sprung style gyromax with the adjustments performed using the masses on the rim of the balance in pairs. It's a system that allows for very precise adjustment and also shock resistance. And then there is a metal overcoil hairspring, not silicon, that allows this watch to keep outstanding time in any orientation with respect to gravity. It's also 30 meters water resistant, so splash and rain exposure only. You don't want to take it swimming. Decoration is excellent. Stripes across bridges. You can see all chronograph parts feature a combination of satination on their steel tops and then beveling on their sides. The bridges also feature beveling. So you can appreciate that all the screw heads feature polished tops and chamfered slots in circumference. We have a column wheel here, but in Geneva fashion, it has a cap, and the cap had a functional purpose once upon a time to prevent the levers and horns of the chronograph from popping out of the column wheel if shocked or concussed. And in time, that functional cap became a decorative element. Almost all watch finishing has its roots in a functional purpose. That's an important thing to remember. And we also have beveling inside all of the jewel sinks, and you can see that locating pegs, these little non-screw metal buttons, those are actually polished on their top. Those are used to locate structures on substructures. So you see quite a few of them when a bridge is on a base plate or a spring is on a bridge. Then we have satination on the wheels, and chronograph nerds take note. The driving wheel, intermediate wheel, and center wheel of the chronograph each have a different tooth pattern, which I've always found funny. There's engine turning on the base plate in 2 different sizes, which I greatly appreciate. If you love this watch, reach out to Team Mosso at the 1916company.com for purchase and pricing details.